So let's take a look at harmonic minor where we raise the seventh. And this is the traditional nomenclature. You have your lowercase, your A minor. The chords that have changed, the triads that have changed, are the ones with the G. See the raised sevenths as they kind of go on a diagonal there? From southwest to northeast, if you will. So you've got your 3 plus. That's plus means augmented. And then you have your 5. See how the 5 from before, from the natural minor, it went to a capital letter because of that G sharp. It's now a major chord. And your 7 is not a major chord anymore. It's a diminished. It's raised up. They call that the leading tone, I think, in the G sharp. I just was doing a little research, and they included both the G major and the G sharp diminished, or the major 7th and then the sharp 7th diminished in as both in the same scale, which is, as far as I'm concerned, totally acceptable. Anyway, to keep them discrete for the moment, you have a diminished 7th in your harmonic minor. G sharp BD in this case, A minor. It's probably the easiest key to learn with. We started with natural minor. It was that's all the white keys on the piano. Okay. So again, you want to learn your triads, like E major. That was E7. Well, it had a D in it. There's your E major. And so forth, right? And then maybe the most interesting thing, or one of the more interesting things, well, besides that, E major. Oh, by the way, from the beginning, when I started playing guitar with the cowboy chords, E major and A minor always had a great sound together. But I didn't know what harmonic minor was or anything. I liked the way those two chords sounded together. And then I found this G sharp. And it's like, ooh, that's spooky, it's like Hungarian or something. Well, it's so Middle Eastern. Well, I don't know if it's actually Middle Eastern. I think there's a little bit more depth to what they're doing over there in their music. Anyway, so the 3. Oops. The 3, the augmented, it's a C augmented. So it just has C, E, G sharp, and they're equidistant. They're all 2 steps apart, right? A major third. So all you have to do is move up. All anybody has to do is move up or down 4 frets, and you flipped it, you've inverted it. It's still the same triad. That's the special property of the augmented chord. How about if you wanted to do a 7th chord, just as an aside? You had C, E, G sharp. How about the B? Or let's see, you could have the B in the root. So it's sort of like it's E major with a C, like an E major with a major 6th. It's that minor 6th, right? C being a minor 6 of E. Anyway, I didn't want to get into that. So let's go through just the triads real quick. Oops, what did I do? This is your 7 chord. It's a lowercase 7, Roman numeral 7, with a little temperature symbol. It's G sharp diminished in this case. You can play a full out doubly diminished 7th, which means G sharp, B, D, F. That's a bar chord like this. So let's see. And then that thing of the diminished that I was doing earlier. It's part of the scale. It's all playing off of G sharp, B, D, F. The way they would describe that in classical is doubly diminished 7th, and then they would write 7 temperature sign or degree, you know, then they would write the Roman numeral 7, then the degree, and then the letter 7 with another degree after it to denote diminished 7. In other systems, it would be described, if I'm not mistaken, it would just have the 7 diminished sign and then the letter 7. And it's understood that the 7 is diminished. And then for half diminished, like in a B, in this case, B, D, F, A. There's your A. You can bar it. Let's see if this works. There it is. You're a B diminished with an A. They'd call that a half diminished 7th. And then the degree symbol would have a slash through it in other systems, whereas in classical, old school classical, it would be called diminished minor 7th. So it might be written as, in this case, 2 in lowercase Roman numerals, degree, and then 7, and then MIN after that. By the way, that's a minor 7 flat 5. This would be what is this? I think it's B minor 7 flat 5, yeah. In other systems, but in classical, this is B diminished minor 7th. Here's your B minor 7th, right? You have an A in the root and then a B minor. Now none of this is in A minor, which is what this A harmonic minor, which is what this video is about. But I'm just saying, you flat that 7th from a B minor, so diminished. Add the A in. People would say, oh, B minor 7 flat 5, and then we would go in classical B diminished minor 7, and then you got your fall. So you've got a B, A, and then a D, and then F, no B, D, B, F, B, B, F, B, D, A, B. It's a way of barring that whole thing. This is a chord that I figured out. Well, I was just trying to go up the fretboard in natural minor, and the C, D, E, F, G, those all made sense. I had the, you know, super pattern all figured out. And so I started extrapolating off of the root, the A minor. This was before I'd ever studied theory or anything. And I went, what's the next chords on every, what are the next notes on every string to give me the next chord? Now I couldn't get, here I would really have an F, right? For, you know, from E to F, going from ACE to B to F of the two, diminished. So I went, well, I can't do that F with what I'm doing here. But if I put this on here, it's in key. So I discovered this. I had no idea what it was. I knew that it worked in natural minor. You know, if I weren't having a G sharp, if I were using all the white keys on the piano. Well, here would be another, maybe another thought exercise would be like, right, just jamming around in A minor, and then, wow, how about if we play black keys? Contrast the black keys with the white, you know. Okay, that was an aside. I think I've talked about this for long enough. You've got the idea, I hope. When you're dealing in harmonic minor, just remember that raised seventh triad, if you extrapolate it out into its four notes with the seventh, G sharp, doubly diminished seventh, you can just slide the position up and down 3 frets at a time, and it will get 3 out of 4 of those notes in the G sharp diminished. Okay, and then the other thing is, remember, oops, maybe I should remember, you can slide